First at noon, here's a live look at Oahu's North Shore, where a large northwest swell has arrived and is expected to peak today with near warning level wave heights. A high surf advisory is up for Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, and Maui, and ocean safety officials are urging beachgoers to be cautious and always check in with lifeguards for the latest ocean conditions. Now, along with the dangerous surf, we have strong winds in our forecast this week, and that's prompted our weather team to declare first alert weather days for tomorrow and Friday. Meteorologist Drew Davis is here with everything you need to know. Drew.
Aloha, Ashley. Let's take a look. We've got a first alert weather day up for the entire state that's going to start Thursday afternoon and last until Friday. The reason for this, again, is for strong winds out of the east. We could see some sustained winds between 20 to 30 miles per hour. We already have a first alert up from the National Weather Service, a wind advisory up over the eastern half of the state for Maui County and Hawaii Island for east winds between 20 to 30 miles per hour and even stronger wind gusts. This is going to continue until 6 p.m. on Thursday, but I won't be surprised if this is extended further westward to include other parts of the state. Our winds outside right now, you can see out of the northeast around 15 to 20 miles per hour, Kahului around 24 miles per hour, and as we go forward, you're going to be seeing stronger winds. Even in the overnight hours, we're going to be seeing weaker winds out there between 10 to 15 miles per hour around 11 p.m. tonight, and then around midnight, still relatively breezy, and these wind speeds will begin to grow again throughout tomorrow. Sustained winds between 20 to 30 miles per hour out of the east. And make sure to scan the QR code on your screen right now to download the Hawaii News Now First Alert Weather app. You can find all the latest weather alerts and 7-day forecasts brought to you by our First Alert Weather team every day. Let's send it over to Jonathan with First Alert Traffic.
Well, thank you very much, Drew. First of all, we had a lot of problems during the early morning commute, but I can tell you the good news is it's pretty much cleared up today, with one exception. We do have a stalled vehicle reported on the Pali Highway. This is right by the Nu'uanu Pali Drive area, right by the hairpin turn. That's expected to be cleared out fairly soon, though, so that should be pretty good for your lunch hour commute. Right now, some cameras to show you about. You can still see some of that inclement weather coming in, but the traffic's not all that bad right over Halawa and the Red Hill area. As we move into Aiea Heights, it looks like this, with a little bit of a wet condition over there, but the traffic moving very well. So if you're trying to get some lunch today, it's going to look pretty nice. Let's get back into town right now, kind of show you what it looks like here at H1 and Ward. Traffic moving very, very nicely. So for the most part, after all of that bad things that happened in the traffic, it's looking pretty good. Let's keep that positive mana going for this lunch hour. First alert traffic here, keeping you and your family safe. Back to you, Ash.
For the first time ever, Hawaii's Department of Health believes it has detected the bird flu from a wastewater site on Oahu. Health officials say the H5 avian influenza specimen was collected last Thursday. They're unable to confirm if this detection is a specific strain of avian flu known as H5N1 that's part of a nationwide outbreak. DOH says Hawaii is the only state without H5N1, and we're told the risk remains low. Symptoms of avian flu include fever, cough, sore throat, and pink eyes. Get medical attention immediately if you have any of those symptoms and have recently been in close contact with sick or dead animals. New at noon, President-elect Donald Trump has chosen former Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to serve as Director of National Intelligence. Now, Gabbard, a former Democrat and presidential candidate, recently joined the Republican Party and endorsed Mr. Trump, stumping for him on the campaign trail. In a statement, Mr. Trump said, quote, "I know Tulsi will bring the fearless spirit that has defined her illustrious career to our intelligence community, championing our constitutional rights and securing peace through strength," end quote. Gabbard will need to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Meanwhile, it's a busy day in Washington for President-elect Trump, who visited Republican lawmakers before meeting with President Biden in the Oval Office. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
Congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition.
Putting their differences aside, President-elect Donald Trump and President Biden sat down together in the Oval Office Wednesday in an effort to ensure a smooth transition of power.
Politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth. It'll be as smooth as it can get.
It's a tradition that did not happen 4 years ago when the positions were reversed. Earlier in the day, Trump stopped by a meeting of House Republican lawmakers eager to push through his conservative agenda.
I just want to thank everybody. You've been incredible. We worked with a lot of you to get you in, and you helped me.
The meetings here in Washington come as the president-elect continues to build his cabinet at a rapid pace. On Tuesday, Trump announced billionaire Elon Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy will co-chair a newly created Department of Government Efficiency designed to dismantle government bureaucracy and slash excess waste.
We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook.
Fox News host and Army veteran Pete Hegseth is Trump's choice to serve as Secretary of Defense, a pick that drew criticism from Democrats.
He does not seem to have much of a detailed background in DoD policy. The lack of experience is concerning.
Trump also named John Ratcliffe, his former director of national intelligence, as his choice to head the CIA. And former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, a longtime Trump backer, was tapped to be U.S. ambassador to Israel. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, Republican Senator John Thune from South Dakota has been elected Senate Majority Leader. Thune won by a vote of 29 to 24 in the second round of voting against Senator John Cornyn of Texas. Thune says the GOP is, quote, excited to reclaim the majority and to get to work with our colleagues in the House to enact President Trump's agenda, end quote. He will officially become Majority Leader when the new Senate is sworn in on January 3rd. Senator Mitch McConnell has held the top Senate GOP leadership job for the past 18 years. Here at home, the health department is warning of impersonators pretending to be food inspectors. Earlier this month, DOH said a woman with dark hair identified herself as a health inspector and began questioning a Whole Foods Kahala employee about the store's food products. Now, when the Whole Foods staff requested further ID and credentials, the woman left the market. The health department urges all food establishments to make sure that any person identifying themselves as a DOH employee has an official identification badge with a valid expiration date. A 29-year-old snorkeler has died after he was pulled from waters off Oahu's North Shore yesterday. Authorities say large waves separated him from his dive group off Three Tables Beach. We're told he is a soldier at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. Bail has been set at $100,000 for Valentin Begornia Jr. The 26-year-old has been charged with attempted murder after allegedly attacking his father with a knife. Now, it happened Sunday at Century Park Plaza in Pearl City. The 61-year-old victim suffered multiple cuts and has been hospitalized in serious condition. Domestic violence experts have a warning for pregnant women after a Schofield soldier was charged for the murder of his pregnant wife. Mahealani Richardson has the story.
Misha Johnson, who was 6 months pregnant, is still missing, while the military has charged her husband, Schofield Barracks soldier Dwayne Johnson, with murder, intentionally killing her unborn child, obstruction of justice, and possession of child pornography.
The priority is still to bring Misha home.
On Maui in 2014, 27-year-old Charlie Scott, who was expecting a baby boy, went missing, and only her jawbone has been found. Her killer, ex-boyfriend Stephen Capobianco, is serving life in prison for her murder.
Homicide is the leading cause of death among pregnant women in the United States, and that 50 to 75% of women abused during pregnancy will continue to be abused after they give birth as well.
In 2022, Harvard researchers found that pregnant women are more likely to be murdered during pregnancy or soon after childbirth than die from the 3 leading causes of maternal mortality: high blood pressure, hemorrhage, or sepsis.
Women in general are vulnerable to experiencing intimate partner violence, but when you also add on pregnancy, there's an increased amount of stressors involved in the relationships that may be a trigger for the abuser.
Monique Ibarra, the CEO of the Domestic Violence Action Center, says help is available, and she urges pregnant women to talk to their doctors.
The healthcare providers are not mandated reporters. If someone discloses that they're experiencing domestic violence, healthcare providers are often very good about screening and asking those questions. A safe space where individuals can say, I'm going through this. Do you know where I can go to get help?
The Domestic Violence Action Center has a text line at 605-956-5680. We also have other contact numbers on our website. Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
A new report shows inflation is actually moving up slightly after dropping for months. Housing costs, including higher rents, help push up overall inflation. In October, consumer prices rose 2.6% from a year earlier. That's up from September's 2.4%. Meanwhile, experts say there's good and bad news for holiday travelers. Airline ticket prices rose 4.1%. However, average gas prices are down about 28 cents a gallon compared to last year.
The inflation numbers don't move in a straight line. They go up, they go down all around in a given month, but the trend lines are still moving to lower inflation.
Prices at the grocery store are up just 1.1%. Thanksgiving turkeys are expected to be a little cheaper in many places, and potatoes are down slightly compared to 2023. As Hawaii continues to grapple with a housing crisis, experts are hoping this upcoming legislative session could finally offer some relief. Here's a look at Spotlight Now.
On the last episode of Spotlight Now, we focused in on the topic of affordable housing, an issue that continues to plague the state. We were joined by Sterling Higa, the Executive Director of Housing Hawaii's Future.
He talked about the legislative session just around the corner and said there are some new ideas that policymakers are already starting to look at.
On Maui County after the fire, the county gave $100,000 grants to families if they would build accessory dwelling units, so long as they agreed to keep those accessory dwelling units affordable for a period of time. On Maui, it was 10 years. I think this program was oversubscribed on Maui, and it's an example that could be replicated across the state.
Hawaii has experienced 8 years of outmigration. Higa says now is the time to act. If we don't, Hawaii could face a very different future.
If you go to neighbor islands like Maui, they resemble retirement communities. Essentially, there are lots of very wealthy people who have finished their careers, are no longer working. They live comfortably, while the few people that are working are really struggling paycheck to paycheck, struggling to afford housing, and increasingly leaving. My concern for the whole state is we could move in that direction, where we become a place where very wealthy retirees from the mainland come here. They have a wonderful time. The average local family that has children or grandchildren that they want to survive here has an increasingly tough time struggling with the difference between their wages and the cost of living.
To catch a full interview, make sure you head on over to hawaiinewsnow.com and join us next week, where we're going to be focusing in on the economy as well as tourism and the future of Aloha Stadium.
See you next week, Tuesday, 1 o'clock on K5.
Ahead on This Is Now, look at some of the cases Honolulu Crime Stoppers needs your help solving. Plus, it's signing day for many of Hawaii's high school athletes. Kyle Chinen has more on what some colleges, some of them will be heading to. Welcome back. It's time for your weekly crime roundup. We're here with Sergeant Chris Kim of Honolulu Crime Stoppers. What do you have for us today, Chris?
I got 3 cases I want to highlight. The first case of robbery in the first degree that happened on Friday, November 1st, 2024 at about 2:55 p.m. This male entered the Long's Drug Store over at the Pearl City Gateway off of Koala Street and selected various bottles of alcohol. He then attempted to leave the store without making payment, and when the employee tried to intervene, he then brandished an electric gun and sparked it at the employee. He's been described as an unknown male, approximately 6 feet tall, weighing 200 pounds, wearing a black short-sleeve shirt, khaki shorts, slippers, and sunglasses. So viewers can please take a look at this video to see if you do recognize this male. Our second case I want to highlight is a robbery in second degree on Saturday, October 12, 2024, at about 10:08 a.m. These two individuals entered the Lululemon store over at the Ala Moana Shopping Center, basically stocked up on a bunch of women's leggings and then exited the store. Suspect number 2 was able to flee without making payment. Suspect number 1 was stopped by an employee, at which time a physical struggle ensued. The employee was able to get some of the items back. Suspect number 1 is being described as an unknown local mixed male between 35 to 40 years old, approximately 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing 200 pounds. He was actually wearing a brown colored wig. What we're asking for is anybody that was shopping that day, once again, Saturday, October 12, 2024, at about 10:08 a.m., if you did see a struggle ensue fronting the Ala Moana store Lululemon area, and you did see this guy or he's accompanied by another unknown local male, please contact us at Crime Stoppers. And finally, I have a theft in the fourth degree on Thursday, October 17, 2024, at about 2:15 p.m. These 2 individuals entered a store over in the Kapolei area, and it was basically a beer run. They selected 12 packs of beer and then exited the store without making payment. Suspect number 1 is being described as an unknown female between approximately 20 years old, between 5 feet and 5 feet 2 inches tall with a slim build. Suspect number 2 is an unknown male. They fled in a dark-colored Toyota SUV, possibly a Toyota RAV4. If the viewers can please take a look at this video. If you do recognize them, contact us. All 3 cases we talked about can be seen over at the www.honolulup.org website, bottom left-hand corner under Wanted Persons.
All right, thanks for being with us, Chris Kim.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it over to Drew.
We'll take a look at your swell forecast. Outside of those strong winds, we've got large surf that's peaking today. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Again, tomorrow afternoon and Friday are now first alert weather days due to those strong winds we're tracking. And of course, we've got large surf out there. I do want to walk you through our first alert weather day map really quickly. You can see again, Thursday afternoon and Friday, statewide first alert weather day for those strong winds. The large surf that we're seeing out on north and west facing shores is on the decline. It's peaking today. It'll start to move away to the southeast as we're going forward into this upcoming Thursday and Friday. And of course, we do have a wind advisory up over the eastern half of the state. This includes the Big Island and parts of Maui County. I wouldn't be surprised if this is extended further westward to include the rest of the state after this one is supposed to expire at 6 p.m. on Thursday. Taking a look, we have high surf advisories on north-facing shores of Maui and the north and west-facing shores of Molokai, Oahu, and Kauai, and a small craft advisory up across the entire state. You can see in our swell forecast right here, the swell has already started to peak. It's moving away to our southeast by the time we're at Wednesday evening. Still very large surf out there, surf that could get up to 20 feet tall on north-facing shores, but it's going to start moving away throughout Thursday and Friday, and back by the time we get to this weekend will be around seasonal averages on north and west-facing shores. You can take a look at the actual numbers here. North and west-facing shores, 18 to 24 feet on north-facing shores. West-facing shores, 14 to 18 feet. South-facing shores, still relatively small out there and choppy out there on east-facing shores. These east-facing shores are going to continue to rise as we have these breezy trade winds out there this week. Taking a look outside right now, east-northeasterlies around 17 miles per hour. We're in the green, at least in terms of rainfall. It's going to be breezy throughout the rest of this afternoon. You can see 2 p.m., 4 p.m. east-northeasterlies around 20 miles per hour and getting into the upper 70s for your evening. Your first alert 7-day forecast Friday. First alert weather day. It really starts Thursday afternoon, seeing those strong trade winds out there, choppy seas as well. And we'll be monitoring this weather pattern very closely. Make sure to stay tuned to Hawaii News Now and the First Alert weather app.
Thank you, Drew. It's National Letter of Intent Day for high school athletes across the country. And one of the stars in this year's class in Hawaii is Kamehameha volleyball player Kainoa Wade. As Kyle Chinen tells us, he decided to stay home.
Yeah, aloha from the top of the hill. Not a football signing day just yet, but you got to give some love to the other sports and athletes who are making the life-changing move, signing their letter of intent to play collegiate athletics. 20 athletes on hand here this morning, including Kainoa Wade, the 6'9" opposite, committed to the University of Hawaii, where he will join his dad, Charlie Wade, who is the head coach. I caught up with the big man on this life-changing move. First off, congratulations. Talk about what went into the decision to, reclassify and sign and be a part of the 25 season.
I mean, it's been something that's been looming for a while, and then just to see how it's been going, playing high school volleyball and stuff. So it was just, a decision why wait at this point? Just get it done.
And did that decision become a little bit easier after, you guys finally knock off Punahou to get that state title for the first time since 2011?
I mean, I can say if I didn't win, I would have came back, but it was kind of just the cherry on top. I was going to go either way. It was kind of a done deal at that point.
And has it always been UH? Obviously, with your family connection and your coach now and dad, what was it always Hawaii?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the community support from the fans and the people here, it's not. There's nothing else like it. That's been the motivating factor for me at the end of the day. So many people behind us, and we're just excited to get going.
And then, what can fans expect when you hit the court in a UH uniform?
I mean, we should be excited. I'm excited to get going. I'm just trying to help any way possible for the team.
And, what do you hope you have left behind here at Kamehameha during your, your time here?
I hope people are going to recognize that Kamehameha is not just there's sports behind this too, and we can win, and people here at Kamehameha can think, yeah, we can beat the Punaus, we can beat the Iolanis, we can hang with the best. That's the main thing, yeah.
To be able to work with your dad, I know you've, as a kid, he's been your coach, but to work with him now in this capacity at the collegiate level, what do you think that's going to be like?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's volleyball, and he's been my coach my entire life, so I don't think much is going to change. Definitely, it's a higher level for sure, and more stakes on the line, but I'm excited to get going.
And that was my conversation with Kainoa Wade. Again, a lot more athletes here signing and making the move to continue their education and their athletic careers. That's the latest here reporting from Kamehameha. Kyle Chinen, Hawaii News Now.
All right, still to come, let the office debates begin. People magazine has named the sexiest man alive for 2024. Time for some good news. John Krasinski has been named People magazine's sexiest man alive for 2024. Now, the 45-year-old actor and writer starred in The Office before launching the Quiet Place franchise and leading the action series Jack Ryan. Now, he's married to actress Emily Blunt, and the couple has 2 kids. Krasinski takes the mantle from last year's honoree, Patrick Dempsey.
I always forget, like I was saying before we came back on screen, that this is a story that happens.
It is. It's a big deal, Drew.
Yeah, they must have missed my application.
That's right. Maybe next year, maybe 2025. All right, let's take another look outside at Oahu's North Shore. We got a lot going on this week, Drew.
Yeah, we've got big surf. You can clearly see the large waves up there at Waimea Bay, and we're going to expect strong winds. Again, tomorrow is a first alert weather day, starting tomorrow afternoon and Friday. Breezy trades will stick around throughout the weekend. Make sure to stay tuned to HawaiiNewsNow.com and the H&N First Alert Weather app.